Yahiko Ikari here. I'm enjoying KuroNekoCon, so you guys should stop by Spokane.
Hey everybody, this is Tyler aka Grand Lethal 16 coming at you with my final interview of the weekend at KuroNekoCon2016. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Hi guys, my name's John Wesley Go. I'm a voice actor and I primarily do it online. So
John does a lot of online auditions and things of that nature, which is something I haven't interviewed anyone who does. So I really wanted to get some insight on how that works.
Okay, so basically I started out when I was around 14 or 15 years old, and I was doing a lot of fan productions online at first. But eventually I want to, cater onto the original project. So I actually found this voice forum thread called the Voice Acting Alliance. And there's plenty of those out there. There's also Voice Acting Club and a bunch of other things out there. And there's a section on those threads where they post original projects. Some of them are paid, some of them aren't, most of them aren't. But if you want to do voice acting and you think you have the chops to do it, you go ahead, you go in there, you read everything, like the audition sides, the format, how they want it formatted, all that stuff. You follow those directions and then you just send in your auditions that way. So that's basically, it's free for everyone.
The internet's made it so easy, right?
Yeah, the internet's made it really easy. There's also pay-to-play sites like voices.com, voices123, which I have yet to use.
Is 123 where you like pay them and they'll do a message and then you get?
I don't think so. Both of them are basically just you sign up and then you pay for the membership and then they'll send you auditions and you just audition that way. But those are really competitive.
I bet. How many times have you been to KuroNekoCon?
I have been going to KuroNekoCon since 2014, 2 years now. It's a fun convention. It's small, it's friendly, and there's not a lot of crowds, so it's definitely not as much anxiety.
So I've been writing my review for KuroNekoCon since this is my first time attending, and what I keep coming back to is this is possibly, it's not even possibly, this is the best venue for a convention in Washington State that I've been to.
Why is that?
And that's no disrespect to anyone else. Not just the weather that you get in Eastern Washington, which
it's
rain on the other side, so cosplayers beware the rain we get. But this is really open, you get a lot of natural light, which makes it very easy to get great pictures of cosplayers. Versus some that are in hotels, you get that yellow light, you've got to do so much post-prod just to get that good. But there's natural light, there's big openings to windows and doors all over the place, and it's set in a really good place right on the water.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No complaints.
Yeah.
You've been to KuroNekoCon. What other conventions have you gone to? Which ones are part of your annual circuit?
I go to SoccerCon almost yearly since 2013. I go to KuroNekoCon. I've been there only once, but I want to go there again sometime. I've gone to NewCon PDX in Oregon, and I've gone to Anime Expo in California this past last month.
Was that your first time going?
Yes, it was.
How was it?
It was fun, but it was crowded. I'm not a big fan of crowds, so it was hard to get around, but it was worth it. I met some really cool friends out there. Zach Aguilar, who plays Genos in One Punch Man, is actually a good friend of mine. So got to meet him, got to hang out, and a bunch of other people out there. So it was cool.
I know I generally save this for the end, but if you want to do any other shout outs to friends you saw there, I mean, feel free now.
Shout out to Kaylee Mills, Michael Kovach. All you guys are awesome. Just letting you guys know that now. I hope I get there next year. So.
You've done a couple of roles now. What's the easiest role that you've done? One that you just kind of filled right into, didn't take any practice. You were like, that's kind of me.
A lot of the characters that I do are typically either going to be a very eccentric, optimistic high school boy, or those type of characters, or one of the quite the opposite, apathetic and very bored sounding. The easiest for me is probably the eccentric characters, mostly because I have that higher range for me. So getting into that, one of the characters I voice is a character named Yahiko Ikari in Lucid 9, and I also do the voice directing and I did the casting for that. And it's currently ongoing, and it's really easy to get into it because, I've been watching anime since I was a kid, so because my voice is the way it is, it's just, all I gotta do is sound like this, It's really easy to be happy. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And then was there a difficult role, one that took a little bit more prep to always be at a certain level to project or?
Yeah. One of the roles I just recently finished recording for was for a game called Wander No More. And he's a samurai, so he's very calm, he's very collected. He can be serious, but he can be, he can be a jokester. He was incredibly difficult to get into, mostly because of his demeanor. His calm demeanor I'm not really good at those kind of voices. And the problem with this is that he's also like an older character, since I mostly play people from ages 8 to 19. This guy was 29, and so it was hard for me to get into that range because he's all the way down here, And this is how he basically talked like that the entire time. it was a pain in the butt, but I got through it. So
Speaking of that, when it's something that's more throaty, upper chest throaty, do you have any certain remedies? Does John have his own little cabinet of certain remedies to get over
throaty?
Cord, you know,
I do a lot of screaming for some of the roles I do. Like Yahiko is constantly screaming because he's so energetic. So he's always doing this all the time, and it's to get over that. If you really want to get over screaming, and if you lose your voice, the best thing I can do is get a lot of rest, don't talk, and drink a lot of tea and water. I know there's this one that one of my friends recommended to me. It's a Chinese tea. I haven't tried it yet, but I know it works wonders for a lot of the professional voice actors out there. So give it a shot.
I've heard that you never touch cough drops.
Never touch. No.
It was dead.
Medicine usually doesn't help. It's got to be natural. You touch medicine. Yeah.
Do you have any particular method acting or means of getting into a character?
I don't really do a lot of method acting, and I'm not very physical in my acting either. There are some roles where I am, like, again, energetic characters, I have to be moving around because that's how you get the emotion out. But no, most of the time it's really, I just, vocal exercises, the fire engine thing, tongue twisters, things like that will get you warmed up. To get into character, always make sure that, you remember, exactly how their personality, their background. Really study your character before you actually even attempt it, because otherwise it's not going to work out.
I hear about, I've interviewed a couple of voice actors, and they've said when they go into the studio, sometimes 5 minutes before they'll get a little paragraph description of the character, and sometimes they just have to go. And, that sounds much better having some time to prep.
It is, but it is definitely good to know cold reading, because again, with Wonder No More that I've just recently, finished recording, the entire script had no direction. I had to cold read the entire thing. I didn't have anyone to play to. I didn't have the other characters' direction or their lines at all. It was just my lines, and I had to record all that by myself. So it's really about knowing the context of the scene, reading through it beforehand, and just knowing what needs to be here. What do I have to show?
You're pretty traveled in conventions, so I'd love to ask you this.
Sure.
What's your best random con experience? Everybody's got one. Something.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm allowed to. Can we do 18 plus there?
Sure.
Okay.
Feel free to. That's fine by me.
At Anime Expo, we just went out to celebrate. We went to the exhibitors hall with me and a group of friends of mine, and I was just like, hey guys, do you dare me to yell at hentai? And they're like, yeah, go do it. And I just started yelling it out. It was hilarious.
Did you like roll up and megaphone it, or
no?
I just went
out there walking around the exhibit like, I love hentai, and it was hilarious because everyone would look. They'd be like, what the heck? What
give you
was
weird
that?
looks, too?
Yeah, they would give me weird looks, but I mean, it was worth it. Like, nobody really cared. I wasn't kicked out or anything.
Yeah,
it's a big
that's
con.
not
It's not a bad thing. It's not like I was explicitly making someone uncomfortable.
So are there any kind of roles you're looking to move into in the future?
I currently just got cast in a game. It's currently being produced, and it stars actually Christian McGuire, who's here at KuroNekoCon, actually is in it. I can't say what it is yet. I haven't been given the green light, so what's up? And then I'm actually planning to move down to Dallas in about 6 months to a year. See if I can get work at Funimation out there. So good luck.
What does your setup look like? I've seen some photos where you have what looks like a soundboard, you have a mic, pop filter, headset, and everything. Is that your home setup, or is that when you're in a studio?
So my home setup is I have the beginner's XLR microphone. So if you want to be a voice actor, the cheapest thing I can recommend is getting the Audio-Technica AZ2020 and either a Scarlett Foresight or a PreSonus audio box. And I have those two things, and my setup is I go into my car and I record in my car. And it actually is really good quality, especially if you know how to post-process. So,
what kind of car do you have?
I have a Forenza Suzuki.
So does it deafen out outside noise?
I usually park it in the garage, so a lot of that noise is blocked out.
I see.
Yeah, and it's a small compact car, so it doesn't have that tin or echo. I mean, it does pick it up sometimes, but you gotta position the microphone right so you don't get it at all. So.
Now, because sometimes people have to yell and they have to scream, they have to get a little pumped up. Do you have any tips or any tricks you use to avoid hitting the mic? I've heard of people who would loop their fingers in their belt loops, so they gotta like get some gusto in there. They don't hit the mic or anything. Do you have
So that's basically what I do. I basically put my hands in my pockets. So if
Hold on for dear life?
I hold on because I am, for yelling and exciting ones, I have to, I use my body. So in order to make sure I don't use it all completely, and, punch my microphone, which I have accidentally done. I'm sure plenty of my voice acting friends have done that. Put your hands in your pocket, just kind of do it, just, move your shoulders, that's as much as I can tell you there.
No worries. So how have friends and family, how have they affected the trajectory of where your career's going?
At first, my family wasn't as supportive because, we're stereotypical Asian, and, they want people who know math, engineering, science, all that. But eventually, they're like, well, he has a talent for this. This is his dream. This is his love, his passion. So they eventually just started supporting me, telling me, keep going, you can do it, you'll eventually make it. And then I've been able to network with some really great people who've given me a lot of tips, connected with people to take classes with, which I plan to do eventually. So they've impacted my career significantly.
Have you thought about doing any kind of like Fiverr projects where you're like, hey, for $5, I'll do a line for you or something? Anything for notoriety or exposure?
I mean, I do a lot of unpaid projects. Typically, I'm trying to get out of that because I do need to make a living.
You don't want people to
value
the skill.
It's tough. It really is. So, whenever you get paid, you're not paid for a project. It's hard because you're doing all this work, but you're not. The only thing you're getting is credit. So I mean, yeah, there's exposure there, and that's a good thing.
Well, they don't pay the bills.
It doesn't pay the bills. So I have to work a part-time job in order to get by.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you have a couple of roles you feel you have knocked out? Do you want to be on Toonami? I mean, what is it? Everybody's got something.
So again, I'm moving to Dallas, Texas in about half a year to a year. So hopefully I can, meet up with some friends. They can help me out, and maybe I can get into Funimation. I'm gonna take some classes down there too. And I'm really jealous because one of my old friends, Justin Briner, he probably doesn't remember me, but we worked together on a couple of things way back when he was not in Funimation, and he's playing the role of Deku in My Hero Academia, and that was a big dream role of mine. So hopefully, when season 2 pops out, hopefully I'll be in that in the next year or two.
Or maybe if he's ever too busy, maybe he'll tap you for it. He'll be like,
oh man, I don't think so. Justin's
doesn't happen,
great.
though.
Justin's great. I don't think with broadcast stuff. Yeah, they typically do replace actors if they're like sick and they're trying to recover. But in the final product, they'll dub over that. So
that's why we have like 6 different voices for Ash Ketchum over the years.
Yeah.
Tried to get close to a simulcast, and that's what happened. If you have anything else you want to say to your friends or fans or anyone out there, that isn't at KuroNekoCon,
thanks guys for supporting me. I know I'm not big like Chris McGuire or Jared Gilbert, but hopefully I'll get there within the next year or two. So keep cheering me on, all right?
All right, then finally your Twitter handle. Let people know how to reach it.
I don't actually know my Twitter. Look up John Wesley Go VO, and maybe you'll find me. That's also my website link, and that's my email. So
there you go. And if I find it, I'll put it in the description.
All right.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Turn this bad boy off.
Oh.
Come a little closer, sorry.
Yeah, all right. That's fine.